Hello, welcome to Kitco. We're in Dawson City, beautiful Dawson City, at the Yukon Mining Investment Conference. I'm here with Brandon MacDonald, CEO of Fireweed Zinc.
Yep.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
The Yukon is the Klondike,
Yeah.
but you're developing a zinc project. You're developing base metals. I mean, what kind of potential is there that you're finding for base metals in the Yukon?
Yukon's very famous for gold, right? Very storied for that, but it also has a history of base metal mining. The Selwyn Basin, where our deposits sit, is actually quite famous for zinc. So the Faro mine, which operated in Yukon from, I want to say, 69 to the 90s, off and on, was at one point the largest open pit zinc mine in the world, and was a big producer. So, zinc production in Yukon is not unprecedented. Yukon Zinc, Howard's Pass sold to Shihong Mining in as well. So, perhaps not what people first think of when they think Yukon, but
You're changing minds.
But and actually maybe it should be like it is a good base metal jurisdiction, and we're pretty happy to be proving up what is shaping up to be a world-class deposit as well.
Let's talk about the zinc. I mean, it's hot right now. I mean, is now a good time to be an explorer in the zinc space?
Yeah, I mean, look, exploration is driven by the availability of funds. So being in a metal that's performing definitely helps. The closure of Lachine and Century and Glencore shuttering some production really made a huge difference in the price of zinc, which means it's just easier to find those dollars. We've been able to successfully raise quite a bit of money.
But not just supply, but demand is also increasing. I do have to ask, I mean, trade tensions are increasing sort of around the world. Yeah. Steel tariffs. I'm sort of wondering, I mean, is that a concern for the base metals? I mean, if we fall into a trade war, global economic growth drops.
Yeah.
But can zinc survive in the supply demand fundamentals?
Yeah, I mean, every base metal is going to be vulnerable to a weak global economy, right? That's how base metals operate. So if a trade war breaks out and it has a significant diminishing effect on galvanized steel consumption, then it's going to be difficult for zinc. I mean, zinc is unique in terms of the base metals. All the base metals have that same play, that same story of diminishing discovery, lowering head grades, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But zinc is unique that China really is an outsized producer. Such a significant portion of the global production comes from China. So, it's a question of if that supply can be stable or grow. Maybe in a trade war situation that's bad for zinc, but I think it might peel off, right? So,
well, I mean, things that I've heard from analysts are Chinese production is going to be dropping because of their ever increasing stringent environmental policies. So I mean,
so China does not have a single large zinc mine, despite the fact they have the world's largest zinc production by a huge margin, right? So it mostly comes from small mines, which most of which are unpermitted, and it could be just two guys with an excavator, right? And those mines will not stand up to regulatory scrutiny, and will not, even if they could, would not last long anyways. So as they go from one high-grade occurrence to another, a surface-type mining, they'll soon exploit them all. They won't necessarily scale to large mines, and even the ones that can are going to suffer real intense scrutiny now. So I think there's a real threat to Chinese mine supply.
Now I have to ask this.
Yeah.
You don't have to answer.
Sure.
But with a name like Fireweed, how many people think you're a marijuana company?
We get it a lot, and it's a running joke that if the zinc doesn't work out, we pivot into marijuana with no name change, right? So, yeah. It's a good plan B.
That's perfect. That's thank you very much for being on the show.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. So, stay tuned for more coverage from Dawson City.